Hey, it's Adewale here from stresstherapist.net, and today you're going to learn how to stop struggling to maintain conversations with people because of your shyness or social anxiety. Now, it's a little bit more counterintuitive than most people realize, and this is the big thing most people miss out on. But before I dig in, if you haven't yet read my article on the essential steps to overcoming social anxiety, which you can now access at stresstherapist.net/social anxiety. Make sure to check that article out. That article has reached about 3,000 likes now. And so many people have told me that they've really benefited from it. So if you struggle with social anxiety, this article will give you everything you need to overcome it. Now, when it comes to maintaining conversations with people, one of the biggest keys is the ability to remain curious in the conversation. You see, so many people get this wrong because when in conversations and that they can't relate with, they feel that because they can't relate, they cannot contribute anything valuable to that conversation, and as a result, they keep quiet right through the conversation, and it just becomes a very awkward atmosphere. But the thing is that the more you keep quiet, the more you feel disconnected, which then makes it harder to say anything in that conversation, right? You end up being that person. If it's in a group of people, everybody's talking, and you just be quiet there. And the thing is, if all your conversations end up like this, you soon start feeling isolated and alone, disconnected, like you don't belong. And this is where curiosity comes in. Because the more you can remain curious in a conversation, the more you will find yourself participating in that conversation. And the more you participate, the easier you'll find it will be for you to then build relationships. And when you have that ability to have really good relationships in your life, that's when the world opens up in ways you never imagined before. So, how do we practically use curiosity to help in maintaining conversations like I'm explaining here? I'll use this quick analogy to kind of describe the process practically. Now think about this. Think about when you were really, really curious about something you wanted to learn. How did you go about doing that? What did you do about it? I mean, if it was me, I might find myself going on Google to read about it, or maybe buy a book. And then there's some the kind of questions I'll be asking will be things like what questions, how based questions, why related questions, and so, for example, what is small talk, or how do you play piano, or how do you date a girl? Just pulling examples out of my head. This is the kind of curiosity that we need to apply when we're having conversations with people, and we do this by simply asking things like those kind of what, how, when, why type questions based on what the person is talking about. So whatever it is the person is talking about, you're remaining curious, even if you don't know what it is. You're remaining curious by asking these questions, which then gives the person who's talking to you that sense that you are really interested in them. And the more they feel you're interested in them, the more you can, there's energy, build up of energy, and just kind of a rapport built in the conversation, and just starts to flow. And the irony of that is, once you start using those high questions, why questions, how questions, you soon stop. You soon stop. You start to notice that you forget that you're actually struggling. It's just a struggle. You just get into the flow of those questions. So that's how to start that process using curiosity. But then we can make this process even more powerful. So And how we do that is, as you keep going through different conversations and you come across difficult conversations, you start to keep a record of these conversations. So you keep a list of the topics that you struggled with. And afterwards, go and spend some time researching into those topics to get familiar with the topics. And the more you get familiar with topics, you start to build up a bank of knowledge and information, which enables you to converse better and better with more and more people over time. And this is how you get, it starts to become easier to communicate with people. All right. So now, as I said before, if you struggle with social anxiety and you need more practical tips on how to become confident, outgoing, charismatic, actually even communicating tips like I've shared today, that I shared today. So go over to stresstherapist.net/social anxiety. I'm sure the strategies you will find there on the page will definitely help.